With factorizing quadratic expressions, okay? So a quadratic expression, for example, can be would be something like this. Okay. It is not an equation because it's not equal to anything. Okay. It's just an expression with x and numbers. Okay. So we need to factorize that. Why? Two main reasons. One, you'll be asked for in the exam. Secondly, because when we change that into an equation, it will help to solve those equations. Okay? So what does factorizing mean? Factorizing would mean simplifying that expression and changing into x plus something or times x plus something. Okay? So what we need to know is what those somethings are. How would we do it? There's a very curious tool to help us with this in the English system, which is called the grid. We create a 2 times 2 grid. Just draw it there. Of course, we could just try things out and see if it gets the result, but that would take ages and we would probably not finish the exam in time. So this helps us. Okay. So we have a grid here. This side of the grid, what we're going to do is the numbers that would result in this first part. Okay, so we need to find two numbers and two expressions that would give x squared. That's easy now. That's why I put this as the first example. That would be x and x. So x times x gives x times x gives x squared. We get that. Okay. So now we have to go to the last part of the equation. That's the next thing that we have to resolve. That's the next part. Okay. So these two numbers multiplied by the between themselves should give the result in that box. So that should be 6, and we have to find two numbers that multiplied would give 6. Okay. So we can do any sort of combination. Of course, we can go back to the video and the section that we did in IGCSE of factorizing numbers. We can go to 6 and factorizing that would be 3. Divided by 3 would be 2, divided by 2 would be 1 and 1. So 6 is 3 times 2 times 1. So we have to do combinations with these numbers. Okay, so we can try, and whatever you choose here, you might choose the right combination and do it on the first step, or you might have to do it 2 or 3 times. So you get a 3 there and a 2 there. Okay, so then 3 times 2 is 6. That's okay, and then we have to see if this number times this number, which is 3x, and this times this times this, sorry, which is 2x, if this gives the other term in the expression, which is 5x. Okay, in this case it's 3x plus 2x, which is 5x, so that's correct. So we have chosen the first combination, the correct combinations. What combinations would that be? In this case, we should have to try with 3 times 2, 6 times 1, and that's it. Okay, so those are the only combinations we would have to try. So how would we factorize this expression? In this case, it would be x plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay, so that's this quadratic expression factorized using the grid. We could check that. Let's check it quickly. We'll use another kind of. So we get this. If we multiply that, x times x is x squared. That's 2x, 3x, 6, 3x plus 2x, 5x, which is correct. Okay, so that's an easy case. Let's go into two more complicated ones using the same method. This method makes me solve those, makes me factorize quadratic expressions much faster than just choosing any random numbers. Okay, so let's try another expression, and you'll see that what has changed here is that we have a minus. That's an expression. We need to find something like this. Which numbers would we try? we go to the 24 here, we factorize that, and it gives a 2, 12, 2, 6, 2, 3, 3, yeah, 1. Okay? So, what do we have to try? What numbers do we have to try in this grid? Obviously, we have a x squared, we have to try x and x, which gives x squared. That's easy. Then we go to the next number, we have to try minus 24. Of course, if it's a minus, one of these two numbers has to be a minus, obviously. Okay, so now, what do we have to try to get to 24? We should have this combination, 24 times 1. Then we have done 24 times 1, then we have to go 12 times 2, so that would be all this times 2. We can do 6 times 4, we can do 3 times 8, okay? And those, as it's a minus, it should be, we have also got to try, so that would be minus there, and we have also got to try the other combination. Because adding up, that would change. Times minus 2, that's a 6 times minus 4, and that's a 3 times minus 8. Okay? Those are all the combinations I would try. It seems complicated, but if we do it randomly, we could try with any sort of number. Now we have, all those are the ones that we should try, okay? And not any other. So now, we have to get to minus 24. Now, let's be a bit clever. If you add those three, if you add, in this case, subtract those two numbers, it has to give 2. So we have to choose a combination where if you add or subtract, it gives 2. Obviously, we could try with various combinations. Let's try with this one, and you'll see that it doesn't give anything that serves us as an answer. If we try that, that would be here minus 12x, that would be 2x. But minus 12x plus 2x is minus 10x, which is not that. So this is not a correct answer. Okay? So we could try all the other combinations, but if we are a bit clever, we'll find the one that has a difference of 2 between the two numbers, and we could try minus 6 plus 4 or plus 6 minus 4. Again, use your brain. If you do minus 6 plus 4, that's minus 2, and it's a plus 2, so that would be the correct combination. So let's try it. It's a 6 and a minus 4. Let's go there. 6x minus 4x. So we have x squared minus 24, and now 6x minus 4x, 2x, that's correct. Okay, so the result would be, the answer would be a 6 here and a minus 4 here. It doesn't matter if you write a minus 4 here and a 6 there, it's the same. Okay, so that would be that expression factorized. Let's go to another one with another complication. Now we have 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. What's the difficulty here? We have 3x squared, okay? We don't have x squared. So that means that when we solve that, when we factorize that, it cannot be x and x. One has to be an x and the other one has to be a 3x. Okay? Because that would give 3x squared. Okay? So we get the minus 6, we get the 6, we factorize it as always. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Okay, that's very easy. What combination should we use? Well, 3 times 2, 6 times 1, and as it's a minus, we have to use 3 times minus 2 and 6 times minus 1. So that gives 4 things to try out. Okay? Again, it's a 7 plus 7. So if you add them up, if you subtract them, it has to be plus 7. Let's see, we'll do the grid. Okay, let's see how these things changes the method. It doesn't matter if you put a 3x there or a 3x there, that's of no difference. That's a 3x squared. Okay, so now you have, let's put that again in black, I put it before. So you have a -6 here, and let's see what we have to do. Okay, so we can try any other method, any of the combinations. Please try them at home. I'll give you the correct one. If we put a -2 here, and that would give us a 3 here. Okay, if we do 3x times 3, that's 9x. If we do, let's put it in black again, 9x, that's -2x. Okay, and if we do 9x minus 2x is 7x. So that's the correct one. That will give, as our result, -2 and +3. In this case, it's very important that we use this and we cannot change it there because it's different, because this is 3x and that's an x. Okay? One last example, very quick one, with another complication. Last one, that would be probably the most complicated one you get. 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. Okay? First of all, now we see, looking at the previous example, that needs to be 3x and 3x. Okay? And now we have, this is a +1, but we can obtain +1 with positive numbers or with 2 negative numbers. Okay? So, it's a +1, that's very easy, because +1 factorized as 1. But we have to try with -1 and -1, and with +1 and +1. Okay? Let's get the grid. That's the 3x we said, and that's the 3x. That gives us 9x squared. Sorry. So now we have to see something that is 1. We can try with +1, +1, -1, -1. Okay? Well, the correct answer is -1. Why? Because if we do, obviously this is 1. If we do here, it's -3x. That's -3x minus 3x minus 3x minus 6x. Okay? So that's the correct answer. We get a -1 and a -1. Okay? So we've gone through this very quickly. We put 4 examples with varied complications, minus in several places. This has changed, etc. I recommend you to watch the video again, try them out on your own, do all the combinations to see that some are correct and some are not, and then do the exercises on the online academy, and you'll be able to do this very quickly. The more exercises you do, the faster you'll do it, and the better with your exam, and the shorter time it will take to do this exercise. Okay? Good luck.